It's holding. There isn't much changing, so not much to report at the headline index level. Let's now then go a little deeper into individual stocks. Beneath the surface, there is some action and there is some green as well. So I'm going to pick out one such name, and that is Olectra Green. Let's pull up the stock now. It's seen a 18 to 19% pop today. Pretty significant move. It's a small company. I think around just on 4,000 crores odd market cap. So why the 18%? Well, because they're getting into a tie-up, a technology tie-up with Reliance for green buses, hydrogen buses. Prakash, just wondering, have you seen this company? Any thoughts?
Oh, yes, of course, Surbhi. I mean, this has been a pioneer in creating, buses on the electric side and making them successfully, get into commercial usage in a lot of the corporation, a lot of the urban centers. But, the last 1 year, the company hasn't been able to do much beyond just, getting into that niche area and trying to establish its credentials. And that's exactly why the stock has actually lost ground on a year-on-year basis. But, this move suddenly probably breathes a very new life into what could potentially be an absolute new area of growth. And then, Reliance actually piloted something similar with Ashok Leyland some time back. And they seem to be very serious in terms of solutions for commercial transport, for public transport services, and that's where Olectra could really straddle its strength and experience. So I think it's a great area, but whether the stock needs to go up 18-20% on a single day, I'm not too sure. But the stock does offer you value if some of these vectors start working towards it in its favor, because it has lost some ground. From a valuation context, it's definitely much more reasonable than what it used to be during those fancy months. But wait for things to turn out, wait for some pilots to happen, wait for the output. I think that they'll give you adequate time and safety in terms of buying later.
All right, Prakash, before we let you go, I want to ask about the metal stocks. They've lost their shine, actually. In the last couple of days, actually, yesterday and today. They're under some pressure. I'm not sure what's worrying them, but just going by the screen, the non-ferrous names are underperforming the ferrous names. So my guess is that the stronger dollar is playing a part out here. And the fear is that the globe is going to slow down. So consumption of metal obviously will slow down. Your view on the space, and do you like anything? Would you look to buy into any of these stocks?
So, yeah, Nigel, you're so right. The global setup, which seemed to be getting in favor of commodities, and that's exactly why you saw copper head up, you saw aluminum go up, basically was predicated on the fact that China reopening is going to spur a lot of demand and trigger a lot of a wave of consumption. That's not happening. The US is suffering for its own share of issues. And that's precisely where commodities have started softening and the dollar has started emerging as, it's making a full comeback. And that's the time where you would see all of these Hindalcos and Vedantas and Zincs of the world to start suffering. But, my choice within the domestic metal setup is NMDC. I mean, it's an indirect play on the ore side, but I think it's something which is absolutely at a stage where it could only go up. The way iron ore prices have stabilized and they could only move up as soon as demand starts picking up, as soon as internal consumption starts kind of throwing up some sort of a pricing power back to them. I don't see any reasons by March, by April, why that would happen. And if NMDC was successful in maneuvering its way profitably out of the steel venture, which is now listed, and doesn't get itself embroiled in too much of debt and all that, I think it's going to be a very good optionality. So from the current levels, when we see a 20-25% upside, which is decent enough for a company as large as that. I know people don't get excited about 15-20% these days, but on the metal side, I think that's one of the significant plays that you could play very safely from a risk-reward perspective.
Okay, today NMDC is down on account of going ex-dividend by 3 rupees 75 paise. Another important corporate conversation that we had going through the course of the day was an exclusive with the TTK Prestige chairman.